The latter half of our meeting today is going to be focused on fundraising. And this is an all call for all of us. We're people of action and we need to take some action. So I'm going to lead you through some of the things that we have done and hopefully intend to do. But this is, in the end, is going to be an open forum for ideas, volunteerism, donationism, and all the sorts of things that really we need in order to fund the things we do, like scholarships, for instance. Summer sale, we did actually really well. We budgeted 2,000. We brought in about 3.4 thousand. And, that was due to mainly strong leadership and organization right up front. We had a few people in particular who took it by the reins and got it going, organized it, let everybody know what was needed. And then several club members showed up to help on the weekend that we did it to make it work. So that we're going to chalk up as a big success. Thank you very much. The golf tournament, unfortunately, we had to cancel due to COVID concerns as our county re-entered a ramp-up period, especially with the Delta variant, and due to, frankly, lagging signups to actually help with the event. The board and the committee organizing the event decided to cancel. We had budgeted 8,000 for that. Some donors gave funds anyway. Some of the sponsors contributed even though the event was canceled, and we're very grateful to them because that helps close the gap of that funding. So between the golf tournament canceling, but the yard sale being over our expected budgets for income, we were about 5,500 short, plus or minus a little bit, from those two events. Oktoberfest is one of the events we did last year for our first time. That was a drive-up take-home meal. We budgeted 3,000 in income for this event. At this point, we don't know if there's time, who will lead it, the logistics of doing it during COVID. Is it outside and vaccinated only, takeout only? What does it look like? Taste of the holidays at home, which we did fairly successfully last year. We had budgeted $10,000. Again, very similar questions. Is there time? Who will lead? One of the concerns that we came up with following, evaluating what we did last year was that we went all in with the things that we put into the baskets and did spend quite a bit of money on it. The baskets were well received overall, but we're thinking we can probably do it for lower cost if we do it again. And one of the other questions is, given the time that we're in the second year of businesses struggling, are the donors up for it this year? And please keep all this kind of in your head. We'll come to an end where we're all going to talk. Maggie and Vanessa have been in the background talking about a very special auction, a raffle type thing. And it's not in the budget, so this could definitely help offset the canceled golf tournament. Maggie and Vanessa, do you want to tell us about what you have in mind here? I think it's a great idea.
I think Maggie should go first.
Okay.
I just am providing the bottle.
Which
okay, so
go ahead, Maggie.
Just minor detail, the bottle. So, I'm part of the Whiskey Fellowship, and they sent out a invite to buy a raffle, buy a ticket towards trying to win a bottle of whiskey. And I said, well, duh, we could do that. And so Vanessa was very, very generous and has donated a bottle that we're going to sell 250 tickets at $20 a piece, and to win this and make some money off that. So Vanessa, do you want to tell them about this bottle?
So this is a 2019 barrel proof bottle of George T. Stagg. It's coming in at 124 proof, 24.9. What makes this bottle so valuable is it's sort of impossible to get. So through a glitch in the computer system, I was able to order a few bottles and a couple years ago, and I've just been sitting on them, and this seems like a perfect opportunity. So if you Google it, I mean, the price range is just incredible. It goes up from $1,000 to $4,000. I don't know how much you like whiskey, but I have tasting notes for you. You can come check out the bottle. I don't know what else you want to know.
So we'll put together a mechanism. We cannot sell raffle tickets online. It's against the law. So, but we can put it together so that we can let our other Rotarian friends know, and we could sell 250 tickets and make some money. Thank you, Ian.
It sounds like a great idea and relatively simple, mainly because of Vanessa's enormously generous donation to get something of worth to do that. And, she asked, do you like whiskey? Well, it really doesn't matter. A bottle like that is actually an investment at $20 a ticket. If you win that, you can stick it on a shelf for 10 years and turn it around if you want, or really have a good time with a friend who likes whiskey. So it's one of those bottles. And thank you, Vanessa. And Maggie, thank you for, it just goes to show the Rotarian Fellowships is a way to get outside our club's thinking pool and come up with new and fresh ideas that could help our club. So thanks for being out there, Maggie. Another idea we're seeing actually is happening tonight. Santa Rosa East Rotary Club has compiled an online virtual auction. And man, if you go and see their items, it's an impressive list. They've really clearly been working the community for both donated and purchased goods of high value and high interest. And so that's another possibility that we should be looking to. And Charlie, we will come back to how to buy tickets for that raffle. Maggie and Vanessa are organizing that. There's a few rules related to that, so we'll come back to that. Another possibility that, this book has a lot of silly stuff, and this one I looked at it and I laughed, and then I thought, wait a minute. So this is the non-event fundraiser, this really looking within to our club and our friends and family who come to our events. And, looking at this, if somebody's got a quirky way of writing and could make a funny out of it that's meaningful, that'd be another something that we could do with or without the other events we're looking at. So without me rambling on and on and on, my favorite quote of the month was from Maggie, "Nothing is normal now." And I said, what normally happens when things come up to fundraising time? Who takes the lead? Is it we don't have a fundraising committee, so to speak, it's all of us. And she said, nothing's normal now. We need leaders and ideas. So the reality check is if we don't do any more fundraising this year, we'll be about $19,500 shy of meeting our budget. And I've seen the work that many of our committees are doing to organize where and what to spend the money that we earn on in our communities that we serve. There's some enormously important causes that we're contributing to or planning to contribute to. So I'd love to raise this money so we can fulfill on those commitments. So with the questions below that on the screen, the floor is open, and we can use the chat. We can use just unmute your mic and speak, or raise your hand and speak. We're all good at working in a group. The Zoom forum isn't great for it, but we're going to get through it. So ideas, thoughts, and considerations, please. I did see Craig in the chat. You had mentioned that you would take on taste. Did I read that right?
Well, I said I'm much in favor of it because it would, if we were able to do it or pull it off as was done last year, it would keep the community connected with that event we've done for so long and will do again once we have the opportunity. It would just maintain the continuity.
That's a great point. It is one of those events that is so visible in the community each year, and people ask us, hey, when are you selling taste tickets? We want to come. So in order to do an event like that, that's coming up in less than a couple months. It really takes leaders to step in. And, we've had some very strong leaders who repeat year after year, who have institutional knowledge about how it works and how to get it done swiftly and efficiently. But we're also needing new volunteers in that mix. We can't just keep relying on the same people year over year to do the same things. That doesn't fit in with our mentorship model of, if you're the only one who knows how to do something, teach it to somebody else, right? That's the only way to grow our capacities as people in our club. So, and we don't have to have all the answers this morning, but I would like to get back with everybody in the coming week to understand where we stand. You know, who's up for volunteering to take a leadership position for any of these fundraisers, who is willing to help and assist as a mentee into one of those roles. Looking back in our club's history, is there anything that we used to do that was successful that we haven't done in a decade or more?
Can I say something?
Please, Michael.
And I'll use Taste for an example. Those who have done that event over the last few years, if they could put together, for example, a 3-ring binder of step 1, step 2, step 3, so on and so forth. This is how you do this event. Then it could be turned over to the club, and whoever the new people, you have this document that you go through and use for the event.
Hey, Ian, I know there's a couple of hands up there. I think Claire and Lisa got their hands up.
Lisa and Claire, we see you there. Lisa, go ahead.
So I've actually already thought about this with
First two
tasting.
stags is $1,000 a bottle.
You're still unmuted, Craig. Go ahead, Lisa.
So I've already thought about this and stepping forward and, you know, leading this again, but also having somebody else mentor somebody else as the leader for next year. And I do have a binder already set up. Every year it's a little bit different, but my first initial is to, first of all, I should back up. Last year, because of COVID, you know, once I sent my letter out to the vendors, which was last minute, we didn't send it out in September because we weren't sure of what we were going to do exactly. And Oktoberfest came, and then it was like, oh my gosh, we could do taste the holidays at home. And so when that started formulating, all of a sudden it was like, okay, how do we do this? And when I reached out to the vendors, it was short notice, and they were just overwhelmed with COVID, and some could participate and donate. Others, I realized after talking to them that the only way to get anything in the bag was going to be to give them a little bit of money at their cost of what it cost them to prepare whatever they were giving us. So that worked out really well. This year I was thinking, you know, I would send the letters out now to the vendors to sort of get a feel of what is needed out there, or I'm sorry, how much they would be able to give, and we wouldn't have to put out of our pockets. We still would have to buy the bags. We'd have our participation, but I'm willing to, you know, get a new team together and have somebody chair right with me so that they can take it over next year and, you know, teach them all everything that I know about it. It was handed to me by Ray and Ron, and I carried it on as the actual, you know, Taste the Holidays at the community center. And now we need to move it on to other hands in our club. So that's my thoughts.
Lisa, thank you so much. Lisa, if you know off the top of your head, how many co-leaders or organizing staff do you need to make this happen effectively?
My committee had probably 8 people.
Okay.
There was about 8, and I always had a co-chair. You know, there was someone, you know, but it was different. It was a little bit different because with Taste of the Holidays at the community center, there was a lot more duties, you could say, you know, and then the day of the event, you know, everybody's showing up to participate. And with COVID for Taste the Holidays at home, you know, we could only have so many people sign up to pack the bags, and everything was there. I mean, it was a little bit different routine, but I still think that, you know, it's possible we could do it this year. Once we decide to do it, then I need to order the bags like right away. So, because that was the thing that took the longest, and then we'll decide on taster glasses and, you know, and the vendors, I have to reach out to them right away. So. If
We're gonna get
anybody's
you in just a
interested,
moment.
I'm sorry.
I was just letting Claire's hands up. We're going to get to her in a moment. But Lisa, we will, as a club, can we commit to getting 8 people together to assist Lisa in the organizational side of this right here and now? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay. We're going to do this then. Lisa, thank you so much. And by this time next week, we will announce who's on board to help, and we'll get this done. Thank you. Claire, you had a comment.
Yeah, just a couple of things. First of all, I loved the Taste of the Holidays bag last year. I used them as Christmas gifts, and the people who got them, it was really well received. It worked super well. So, you know, when we're thinking about fundraisers, there are some things that are going to happen. The holidays are going to happen. So there are those opportunities to do fundraisers there. People need to eat. And I have a happily volunteering husband who loves to help organize drive-by dinners or dinners. And he is willing to volunteer for Oktoberfest again this year. I would, of course, help him, but, you know, he's done a lot of dinners for Southwest Eureka Rotary. So I'm volunteering him with his permission, and be happy to do that. It was fun last year. It really was. And he's already got some ideas for how to make it simpler. Yeah, so happy to volunteer for that. I also think, you know, with Christmas coming up and Hanukkah and other holidays, that, you know, with an online auction, we could also think about having some smaller items that can be, you know, almost like a holiday bazaar online, because we have a lot of members who have, you know, talents and gifts with art and quilting and woodworking and so on, you know, that could be used to for people to shop for Christmas stuff that's homemade and local. So anyway, just a thought.
Thank you, Claire. And if Hyder's in earshot, thank you, Hyder. I saw Marty's face light up when Claire volunteered, Hyder, because Marty knows how hard Hyder goes when it comes to getting in the kitchen and getting it done. So club-wide, this is an opportunity to learn from a great in the world of takeout dinners and Rotary fundraising surrounding food. Aside from those who volunteered just a moment ago for taste, can we get a show of 5 who would be interested in learning from Hyder how it's done in the kitchen? I see Marty. I can't see everybody on screen. There's John. Okay. All right. Why don't we put that on a tentative? Claire, is it okay if we get back to you and Hyder by this time next week? Thank you. And, you know, it's funny, you mentioned local gifts from local folks. I was just reading that there are going to be shipping delays, and online ordering is kind of a mess right now. And the Christmas rush is already here. Whatever you make of it, if you're into that. But shop local, well, let's take that a step further. Shop from our club members. How cool would that be if we could come up with a little assortment of affordable gifts for our community from our community? I love that idea. So let's do on that one too. So far it sounds like we've tentatively committed to Oktoberfest. We've committed to taste. We have a surprise raffle surrounding a very amazing donation from Vanessa. Anything else we should consider at this time? It sounds like we might get this done. Any ideas that haven't been put out at this time? You know, because we do have spring to look into as well.
Ian, I think it's always nice to remind people about the unfortunate reality that we are saving money on breakfast and travel, and to think about, you know, that too, as if people want to pay that forward to the club in whatever amount they're comfortable doing. So
there is a fairly significant portion of our club budget that is designated from member donations. And so if you want to designate your breakfast bucks on a weekly or monthly basis, you can do it right through Venmo. And that, yeah, every dollar that comes in really helps us achieve the things that we want to do, and frees our committees up from the worry of, well, we really want to do that one more thing, but is the money there to do it? So consider that in your weekly expenses. You know, if you were going to spend the money on our breakfast but are not, some of us look at that as well. I'm saving money, but what could we do with that? What purpose could we put it towards as a combined group? So thank you, Maggie, for bringing that up. Any other thoughts in the group? We've got another 5 minutes here of open floor.
Ian, can you hear me? This is Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
I am driving. I thought it'd be really cool. I mean, it might be a lot of work, but it could be something down the road. Is I know that restaurants really struggle, but grocery stores are really successful. So it might be fun to like team up with a grocery store and do like a cook at home bag. Those meals are really popular, the Hello Fresh and stuff. So we could do a more of a local style, come up with a really cool recipe, and then sell bags to take home and cook or something.
I know we have potentially a taste of spring coming up next spring. Maybe that could be an incorporated part of that, depending on where we are in the pandemic. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. I know that Murphy's Market in particular has been very generous with our fundraisers of past, including taste, and does a great job with their pre-prepped food. So there are opportunities there. Maggie, does the fuzzy one have any particular ideas?
He does, but they're really more not relevant to this conversation, actually.
I'm sure they're food related. So.
Yeah. He's having a tough time. He's got some health issues he's dealing with. So.
Not to put any newer members on the spot, but when you saw our club and met some folks in it and decided to get involved with our group, part of what we do here is raising money in order to be able to expend it where it needs to go. What thoughts do you have as new members who have fresh eyes? Many of us have been involved with this club for decades or multiple decades and have been doing the same thing over and over. I'm sure there's fresh ideas out there or thoughts on what you've seen so far. Now, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but it's time to get involved. To tell us what you think.
And
I see you there. Go ahead.
Because my funding is limited and, retired teacher, et cetera, I'm more of a person of wanting to go and help, be involved, deliver the food, the bags of food to the kids, go out on the highway and clean, that kind of thing. We kind of mentioned a couple of things before about, putting together some work parties on a weekend and going to, have people, the community, somebody in the community say, hey, I need some help doing my lawn or cleaning up my backyard or something, and I'll donate $100 to the club to do that if I can get a few people to come. Can we put something together that we, have a dedicated team of workers that will do something like that? I don't know how to organize it.
I don't either, but let's put it on the list. Because you're right, many of us, myself included, are able to be more generous with our time than our dollars. So I think that's a great idea. Holly and Amanda, I'd see you both here, and or Angela, I'm sorry, and Holly. Angela is just checking us out so far. Holly's coming right up on being an inducted member, and so with totally fresh eyes from I don't want to say outside, but haven't really put both feet in just yet. What does this look like to you when we're talking about this sort of stuff, and what thoughts do you have about maybe other organizations you've been involved with or other events you participated in that did really well for this purpose?
Is my mic working? Yep. Okay, perfect. I am so excited to help, but I don't have any great ideas to lend at this moment. I wish that I did, but I put into chat, I'm happy to lend hands and support efforts. I think the Taste of the Holidays is incredibly successful, and I'd love to support that as well.
Excellent. You know, as I said before, part of the reason that we ended up canceling the golf tournament was, frankly, lack of volunteers. So as we move into these events, you know, they're 1 month and 2 months away. So please be ready, everybody, to step up and step in. When we get that call via the Sign Up Genius or the phone call to tap on the shoulder and say, hey, I know you're good at this, please be ready to come to action. That's really what's needed to make these events happen is people of action. All right. I hope that gives you all food for thought, and I am encouraged that the will is there to move forward with some of these things. That's a huge relief. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody step in to help. You know, we need as much full participation as we can get. Speaking of fundraising, Nick, I know we've got a $100 raffle on the table this morning. Hopefully everybody got their Venmo in who wanted to.
They did. Yep, we got a good amount of people who decided to participate, and let's do this. Let's see what we got. Tons of names today. And our first winner is Barbara. Let's see if you're gonna win $100. $5, I will pay you through Venmo. And let's see who the next lucky winner is. And Tom. Let's see. $5. So I'll pay them both through Venmo. Thank you guys for participating. And next week will be 110.
Thank you, Nick. So in the spirit of what we've just been talking about, this week's haiku, who gives of themselves, shares their time and good fortune, Rotarians do. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for all you do. Be ready to serve.